Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it seems like the Russians, according to the polls, struck within Poland with some missiles. That's what the Polish side reports. Even Blinken calls the Polish foreign minister from Indonesia. So let's see, I got two articles here, one from New York Post from today, November 15th, 2022. Russian-made missile strike kills two in NATO member Poland. So a Russian-made missile crossed into Polish territory and killed two people Tuesday, according to Poland. A blast that threatens to pull the NATO alliance into the Ukraine war. The strike occurred near the Polish village of Przewodów, some 45 miles north of Ukrainian city of Lviv and 15 miles from the Ukrainian border, the official with knowledge of the situation told the Associated Press. The Polish government echoed that assessment, saying earlier Wednesday morning, Warsaw time, that a Russian-made missile had exploded in the eastern part of the country. Wow. In a statement, Warsaw said that Polish Foreign Minister Zbigniew Rau had summoned the Russian ambassador and demanded immediate detailed explanation. Polish President Andrzej Duda, however, was more cautious, only saying the missile was most probably Russian-made, but there was still being investigated. Russian-made. Okay, so it's like someone killed someone with a American bullet. Is the Americans who shot? The same thing is with, if you remember that guy, they were killed, not killed, they couldn't kill them with a Novichok poison, the Russian in London. Oh, it must be Russian because it's a Russian poison. It's not only Russia who has that. It's a knife made in France, so it must be the French. This is stupid, man. The Pentagon said it could not immediately confirm the report of Russian missiles striking Poland. And I'm quoting, first, let me go ahead and highlight up front that we are aware of the press reports alleging that two Russian missiles have struck a location inside Poland near the Ukrainian border. Pentagon spokesman General Patrick Ryder said at a briefing, and I'm quoting, "I can tell you that we don't have any information and are looking into this further, and so when we have an update to provide, we'll be sure to do so," end quote. President Biden spoke with Duda by phone Tuesday evening. According to a tweet from Duda's office, the White House said that National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan had also spoken with his Polish counterpart. And I'm quoting, "We cannot confirm the reports or any of the details at this time," end quote. National Security Council spokesperson Adrienne Watson, a spokeswoman, said in a statement, and I'm quoting again, "We will determine what happened and what appropriate next steps would be," end quote. Poland is a NATO member state. Should the Polish government decide to invoke Article 5 of the Alliance Agreement, which calls for collective defense of member states, the strike could draw the additional 28 members of the Cold War-era alliance, including the US, further into conflict. Piotr Müller, a Polish government spokesman, said that Warsaw, Piotr is Peter, so what the hell, spokesman, said that Warsaw was verifying whether there are grounds to launch procedures under Article 4 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Article 4 allows member states to formally bring security concerns before the alliance's member states for discussion. Müller also said the Polish armed forces were increasing the readiness of certain military units. Asked how the US would respond if the strike was confirmed, Ryder declined to answer. And I'm quoting, "I don't want to speculate or get into hypotheticals," end quote. When it comes, and I'm quoting again, when it comes To our security commitments and Article 5, we're being crystal clear that we will defend every inch of NATO territory, he added. The attack came as Russia fired a salvo of nearly 100 missiles at Ukraine, targeting civilian infrastructure in the capital Kiev, but also striking targets in western Ukraine, including in Lviv province. Oh my! And let me go to the other article coming from Sputnik. And this is 27 minutes ago. Blinken spoke to Polish and Ukrainian counterparts about Poland missile incident and asked them, hey, are you guys doing some hanky-panky here? So, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he spoke to Polish Foreign Minister Zbigniew Rau and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba about the reported explosion in Poland and vowed to coordinate closely as a probe process. And I'm quoting, I spoke this morning from Bali with Polish Foreign Minister Rau and Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba. Over there is Wednesday, or here is still Tuesday. Regarding the explosion in eastern Poland, we pledged to remain closely coordinated in the days ahead, the investigation procedures, and we determine appropriate next steps, Blinken said in a tweet on Tuesday. Polish media reported on November 15 in the evening that 2 missiles have allegedly fallen on the territory of Poland in the Lublin Voivodeship on the border with Ukraine, and 2 people were killed. Polish President Andrzej Duda said Warsaw does not have any conclusive evidence at the moment as to who launched the missiles, but added that they were most likely Russian-made. He added that there is no indication that there will be a similar repeat of the incident. According to the Russian defense minister, no strikes were made on targets near the Ukrainian-Polish state border, while the published photos of some debris have nothing to do with Russian weapons. All statements by Polish media about the alleged landing of Russian missiles are a deliberate provocation in order to escalate the situation, the ministry has underscored. Alright, now let's go by probability and che bono. Alright, who benefits? Who would benefit if that obviously happened, right? So it is not if it happened, something was blown up by missiles. Let's see, Ukraine benefits? Certainly. Russia benefits? No. Poland benefits? A little bit. Why? Because it hopes to clear the Russians. You know what I mean? United States benefits? Yes and no. So who's the higher bidder here? Ukraine. Ukraine by far benefits out of this. Okay, bono is established. Doesn't mean that they are the ones who planned and did this false flag operation, but they're definitely the big suspect. You can say, well, the Russians did it. Well, why would the Russians do it? Why wouldn't the Russians just send it straight to Krakow or to Warsaw? Why they just kill it in a village over there somewhere? Nonsensical. I don't find any justification for it. As a warning, I don't think so. Look, they're gonna get the NATO in. What NATO was waiting. Remember my little mountain slope model that I have? The last thing was what? Nuclear weapons, which will not happen. The other one was troops on the ground in Ukraine. This is it. They still have to check one more thing, which is aircraft. Ukraine must receive aircraft in the near future. They received tanks, which was right there, and long-range missiles. That's all they need. Long-range and airplanes. Then troops from NATO. Now, why do you think NATO is going to get in? I don't think so. I mean, we'll get in. If we get in, I said, we get in, don't shoot. If you shoot us, we will... But on the other hand, it's not Ukraine. Ukraine is not a NATO member. So what are they going to do? Attack Russia? I guarantee you, if that's the case, which is not going to be the case, Russia will say, well, we'll use whatever, just make a move. Because I don't think they can win in a direct. Or maybe they say, okay, go ahead. And we're going to hit Berlin, and we're going to hit London, and we're going to hit Paris, and we're going to hit Warsaw. Just make a move. That's what is going to happen. And then you're going to see all these countries. Yeah, see, we told you the Russians are the ones who, this is what they wanted, to conquer us. Anyway, I don't know who did it, but I said who benefits. Now, I don't know if the Ukrainians have those kinds of missiles. No idea. They say it's Russian made. Doesn't mean squat. If you know what I mean. You know, someone uses an AK-47. Must be the Russians. Psst, okay, I'm going to buy one right now. Anyway, it's just anyway, this is the dangerous situation. They got away with the Nord Stream pipeline. They got away with that. You don't hear anything about that. That's one thing. They got away with that one. I think they can get away with this one too. So if the Russians did it by mistake, I mean, it's up to NATO what they decide. Okay, it's up to them. Oh, you hit us, it's a problem. Blah blah blah. All right, you want to do this. I don't think they're going to do anything, but they want to say, well, we need a buffer zone, so we might get in Ukraine as a buffer zone over there and so on. But I still don't think so, because the Russians, they say, yeah, then we can hit your targets in your countries, and I don't think they will want that. Or maybe they do, because that's how you get faster. That's a fast track to own nothing and be happy. Well, the Ukrainians could have done it. I think so. Could have been something planned by Ukrainians and Poles, or could be could be the Americans involved in something like that. Could be the Brits, who are the masterminds in many things here. It seems like the pipelines and the attack on Sevastopol with those drones, you know, maritime drones, and the air and the water. Well, anyway, we'll see. The Russians deny it, obviously. We'll see what decision Poland will make at US's advice. But they definitely, the NATO now has the upper hand, because like we can decide anything we want right now, anything we want, anything, and we can always blame. Well, you shot, you shot within Poland with missiles, so. And the other guys can say whatever they want. They have the mass media who's going to cover for them. Well, very dangerous situation. As I said, NATO now is going to, it's a big opportunity for NATO. NATO is the same thing as with the pipeline, Nord Stream 1. Who benefits? Did they find who did it? The same here. They will say, well, you did it. Or whomever, but we don't want to do this to protect ourselves. And based on that, they will come with some weasel move. You'll see. Anyway, I'll keep you posted with that. And as I said, Ukraine, the prime suspect, I would. Russia, if that's accurate that they did it. Now, if they did it by mistake, as I said, that's up to NATO to determine what's going to be the next step. I definitely am very eager to find out what weasel move NATO will bring on the table, and it's not going to be good. They're going to be like, they have like a blank check right now. They write whatever they want because your rocket is right there, and we don't believe you. We can make all kind of stories, but it's interesting that the American did not call the Russians. They called the Poles and the Ukrainians. Why would they call the Ukrainians? Why would Blinken speak with the Ukrainian Kuleba? If they would have, let's say a rocket would have fallen on France, would they speak with Ukraine again? France and Ukraine? What if it was fallen, I don't know, in Romania? The same. The Ukrainian, why would you speak with Ukraine? What's the connection here? Just because Ukraine was bombarded. Why didn't the Americans speak with the Russians? I mean, if you're charged with something, or they say, well, I think that you did this, I think you did it, or you should defend yourself, right? It's 2-3 sides of each story. So you ask me, and I'm gonna give you mine. No, you didn't even bother to call me, to talk to me, yet. Well, I'm gonna find out. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.